What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This video is another Photoshop tutorial, and we're breezing through all the menus at the top, and we're on the image menu for this video. Now, just as I've done with all the other menus, I'm going to be explaining what every single command or option does. I'm also going to explain all the sub options, and I'm going to be making more in-depth videos about some of these commands, the ones that are more important. Real quick before we get into it, obviously if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, especially if these videos help you out. Also like the video and comment down below if you got any questions. I'll be sure to get back to you. With all that said, let's hop right into the Photoshop image menu. So the first thing we got is mode. An image mode determines the number of colors that can be displayed in the image and also can affect the file size. Down here, these are the bit depth. For example, an 8-bit RGB image will have a total of 24 bits per pixel, 8 for red, 8 for green, 8 for blue. The more bits means the more colors per channel. So each one of these are different color modes. You got bitmap, grayscale is just black and white image, duotone, index color, and then you got RGB and CMYK. These are the most used ones. These are going to be probably the two that you're going back and forth from. RGB is a red, green, and blue mix, and it's more for web images, stuff that's on a screen. And then CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And this is used for images that you're going to be printing. Then you got lab color and multi-channel. After that, we got 8, 16, and 32-bit channels. I explained already a little bit what those are. Just determines how many colors are in each channel. And then last down here, you got your color table. After that, we got the adjustments section. And I'm not going to go over what each adjustment does. You can watch my adjustments video for that. But there's a big difference between these adjustments and the adjustments that you have down here in the layers panel. And the difference is when you use a layers panel adjustment, let's just click solid color. Then it pops up a layer, solid color fill layer, right? Let me hide that. If I come up here and go to image adjustments and say we do curves, it pops up the dialog box. You change the curves, make whatever adjustments you want to the curves. Then you click OK. And if you're working with the smart object, it's going to add it as a smart filter. Okay? It's not going to be its own separate layer. If you do it to a pixel layer, which is like a rasterized image, click image adjustments and we'll do curves. Same thing. We'll just add an edit to it, click OK, and you can see nothing changed on the layer. It burns it into that image. So it's not editable. You can't hide it or change it after you do this. So just remember that. The only time you probably want to use this is if it's something that you know you're not going to be changing after and you don't need to edit it later on. So all you really got to remember is if you use an adjustment down here, it's going to add a layer. If you use an adjustment up here, if it's a smart object, it's going to add it as a filter. And if it's a pixel layer or a rasterized layer, it's going to burn it into the image. All right, next we got the auto section. And this is either going to auto tone, auto contrast, or auto color your image. I'm just going to click each one to show you. If we click auto tone, you can see it changed it. It doesn't add no filters or layers, it just burns it. right into whatever image you're working on. If I do auto contrast, it didn't change anything, not that I noticed. It probably has good contrast already. And then auto color. You can see it just changed it very lightly. All right, next section, image and canvas size are a little bit different. Image size is used when you want to change the size of the image for printing at different sizes than the native pixel dimensions. And canvas size is used for adding space around a photo or essentially cropping the image by reducing the available space. So you can see here, image size, you have the width and height, and you got the resolutions in pixels per inch. You can change these if you want. And then if we click canvas size, it opens up this dialog box. You can change either pixels, centimeters, millimeters, whatever over here. And you can also choose where the anchor is. So that's image and canvas size. After that, we got image rotation. This is self-explanatory. You got 180, 90 degrees clock and counterclockwise. Arbitrary. You click this, it just rotates the canvas. You can choose the angle amount. And you can choose counterclockwise or clockwise. And it just rotates. I never use this because if I want to rotate it, I'll just use free transform to rotate. After that, we got crop and trim. There's a little bit of the difference. Trim cuts the image in any aspect ratio you want and leaves it at its trim size. Crop only uses the image aspect ratio and will find the frame with the image when you click done. Reveal all is used to show all hidden pixels in a layer or an image. So if you have stuff hidden by a mask, it's going to reveal it and show everything. Duplicate, self-explanatory, just duplicates the image. Apply image. Now this allows you to bend or apply a layer and channel from one image with a layer and channel to another image. It's similar to using layer blend modes to blend layers together, but with the ability to blend individual channels also. Apply image will only work with images that have the exact same pixel dimensions. So if it's 800 by 800 pixels, you got to have two images that are 800 by 800. Calculations. This lets you blend two individual channels from one or more source images. You can then apply the results to a new image or to a new channel or to a selection in the active image. You cannot apply calculation command to composite channels. So this is the calculations window. You got the source 1, source 2. Then you got the channel. You choose whatever channel, gray, red, green, blue, or transparency. And same down here. And then you got blending options. These are just blend modes. You can go through the result, which is what it's going to turn into. You can either do a new document, new channel, or put the calculations into a selection. After that, we got variables. Now there's two types of variables. You got pixel replacement variables, lets you replace pixels in the layer with pixels from another image file. An example is a bunch of headshots if you're making business cards or IDs for a business, and say you got 200 employees and each one needs the same business card template. And then you can change text replacement, obviously, which is like changing their names on the business card. So this is the variables window. We got define or data sets. Data sets, this is for your text replacements. I'm not going to go too far into this one, guys, because it is kind of complicated. So I'm going to make another video on it. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in using variables. After that, you got apply data set. And this is working with the variable datasets that I was just talking about. This just applies whatever dataset file you have. After that, we got trap. Trapping is just adding a little bit of overlap between colors to make sure that there's no white gaps or transparent gaps between them. It expands the pixels where the color channels touch or overlap. And last but not least, we got the analysis section. And this just has a measurement scale. You can set it to a custom scale if you want. This is the measurement scale up here on the top and on the side. Select data points. This is always custom. You can record any measurements you make with the ruler tool. And then you can either open up the ruler or the count tool. And lastly, you can place a scale marker. It opens up this window. You just put this down so you can compare the scale of something. And that does it for the image menu in Photoshop. Guys, if you got any questions, put them in the comments below. If this helped you out, if you learned a lot from this and it helped you out, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also like the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.